what's up, blind bag version gang? Hope you're doing well. I'm doing pretty good. Today's dope sleeves from Japan. Nope, actually, whoops, sorry. These are not from Japan. These are from Singapore. Are going to be these nice sleeves right here with Pikachu cosplaying as Celebi and Lapras. Got a nice little hood on them and stuff. I actually got these from a community member. They bought something from me forever ago. Helped pay for shipping. I think I put something extra in there. And they just sent these back to me from Singapore and was like, here, thank you for being so nice. I've treasured these sleeves forever, ever since that. It was like 2 years ago. And I'm not getting rid of these. It's something that, like, you're not going to pry from my collection. I'm going to have these for a while. The community really is something that's kind of awesome. Speaking of community, speaking of things like that, I want to talk about something that I'm a little bit of an expert on, and it's going to be the G word, gatekeeping. Something I've talked about in depth before. It's relevant anytime a new Pokemon product or anything new with Pokemon actually comes out, and I can be the person to tell you about this stuff right here. A lot of people aren't going to tell you the things the exact same way I will. That's perfectly fine. You want to listen to someone else about this stuff, go for it. Going to be talking about the actual Santa Cruz blind bag Pokemon decks that are coming out, the actual skateboard decks. I'm sure you've seen it on Instagram. That's where I've seen it too. People are talking about them. People are opening them up. The premise is Santa Cruz made a whole bunch of different limited Pokemon decks, right? They're actually cool. They got a bunch of little designs on the back. They're blind bags, though. You actually buy like a sealed one. You don't know what's in it. And you're looking for very specific ones in that are actually different variants of that stuff, right? There's tons of different 151 Pokemon. I don't actually know if there's ones that are not 151, but those are the only ones I've seen people on Instagram talking about. There's different variants of them, too, where they're actually rare. There's, like, more limited ones than anything else, where it's, like, there's, like, one of 50s is the one that I saw someone was talking about. And it was, like, a gold Eevee one, and it's super limited, right? And I saw this one. I went on eBay just to check out what that was going for. And it was going for like 2,500, 2,800 on bids. Holy hell, that is some Japanese Umbreon VMAX numbers. That is some crazy money going for a deck about this stuff. But that's the general premise. You don't really know what you're going to get. It's the whole thing. People are opening them up, grabbing onesie twosies and opening them up for content, having a good little bit of fun. I've seen a lot of people posting them on Instagram, whole shebang, right? It sparked a little bit of a debate. I've seen several people online where people are talking about, like, there's like some gatekeepers going around where people are talking about this stuff in kind of a negative light. Looked a little bit harder into it, and I found out what it was. There's people that are actual skateboarders, people that are skaters in the actual community complaining about the amount of people that are buying these that do not actually participate in any kind of skateboarding activity, and they're just buying these up. There's people reselling them. There's people listing them up for super high prices, and they're saying the skateboard community should probably get first dibs at that stuff. Now, look, as someone who's done this shit before, let me put this out there real quick. The skateboarding community has a solid point. That is what it is designed for. It is designed for skateboarding. It is meant to be put on a skateboard and to be used as a skateboard, okay? Like, I get that. That is 100% what that is. Now, if someone pulled an extremely limited rare one, I super doubt someone's actually going to use that. But hey, there's guitar players that actually collect certain guitars, super creative and fucking Les Pauls and signed guitars they don't play, but they probably could pick it up and play it if they wanted to. Besides the point, maybe the skateboarder would do the exact same thing, just display it up and be one of their, like, skateboards they have in their collection, right? And then those people that are like, oh, you shouldn't be saying that. I'm a Pokemon fan too. I have every right to be getting all this Pokemon product as well. I love everything Pokemon. Everything Pokemon sits to my soul. And as someone who actually collects a whole bunch of Pokemon stuff, hey man, I get it. I'm in that same boat too. There's a argument that can be had on both sides. And I don't really want to stoke the fire too fucking much on that stuff. I have done it in the past before with Japanese products. And let me be the first to say, skateboarding community, fucking welcome to the wonderful world of Pokemon merchandise, where every time something drops and it's Pokemon related, especially if it's limited, it's just getting bought up. It doesn't matter who likes it, doesn't matter what likes it. This is happening across all hobbies, all realms of limited collecting anything. It's getting bought up, doesn't matter what country it's from, and it's being listed, resold for triple, quadruple, quintuple the price. And this has enticed people to hang around for a lot longer, wait for more limited products, buy just everything they can up, relist it up because it's mad profitable, because the Pokemon community, myself included, is just ravenous for our hobby. It's the one little piece of something that we have in this world that helps us escape from the rest of the fucking reality that there is. Like my job, I love my job, but I like coming home, decompressing, making some YouTube videos, and talking about some Pokemon stuff. Just going in, opening some packs, looking at some cards, fucking talking about decks, looking and seeing what everyone else has to say about Pokemon cards, hearing opinions about things. I fucking love it. But gatekeeping gets brought up sometimes, and people just, it's one of those things you really can't talk about without having some level of controversy to it because of what it implies. So what's being basically said is there's people that are saying they deserve said product more than other people. And Once again, there is definitely an argument that can be made for that. If someone's actually going to use said fucking skateboard as a skateboard, I would think that person probably in the hierarchy of where this should go, they should probably get it. Unfortunately, the number one thing that moves everything in the Pokemon community, anyone who can tell you, hey, what's the number one thing that moves everything in this fucking, go ahead, right? I'll wait a couple seconds. Did you yell money at the top of your fucking lungs? I really hope you did, because that's what drives everything. Everything in this community now is driven by money. No matter how positive, no matter how much of something exists, no matter how many people are trying to get something, no matter how many people are going after a specific product, whatever the use may be, money is the number one thing that affects everything that moves, merchandise-wise, collection-wise, in the Pokemon community, and anyone who's been here around here for a little bit will tell you that. And there's not even up for a debate for that stuff. These collectibles, all that stuff too. You know those little boots that everybody fucking saw that was up there at one point? Yeah, those are Virginia's. She actually wanted those. There was the Espeon Umbreon limited. It was the, what was that fucking collaboration called? Uh, Irregular Choice. That's what it's called. I fucking looked at it right there. Irregular Choice. She saw a couple things that were listed up for Pokemon. We had a little bit of money saved up. She really, really wanted it. She's a huge Evolutions fan. And luckily, we were able to actually get a couple things when it dropped. But then we saw people reselling said things, such as like a bag, those actual boots themselves. There's another fucking thing too that she got that like people bought that stuff up. It was super limited, and just the resale on that stuff was fucking insane for a while. We were super grateful to get what we wanted. It's just everything Pokemon that's limited works like that. Everything does it. These decks are no exception. And I mean, think about it. It's basically like opening a booster pack for your fucking Pokemon decks, right? Like, oh, wonder which one I'll get. I hope I get the super rare holographic Fudgy Delicious one, right? I'm imagining people are looking for those super rare limited ones. I don't know exactly how limited some of them are. Like I said, I saw a 1 of 50 gold one going for something stupid, but like, I'm imagining there's more to it than that. It's nuts. It's crazy, like how that stuff's working. The skateboarding community is actually figuring that stuff out too. Every community is figuring that stuff up. Like if you collect anything else different, like video games were kind of like that at one point, where people were getting dumb crazy. It's like, I have a sealed copy of Super Mario RPG, and I think that should go for like $3,000 now because I said it should go for $3,000. Or whatever the fuck it goes for. You know, that same kind of thing, right? And it's like, it really deterred me from actually grabbing video games, and just I went for the deals I could find. Sometimes they're a little rough. You clean them up a little bit, and whatever. It still plays in Nintendo 64. I actually play the old video games I collect. Xbox 360 games, we're doing that for a little bit at one point. I have two 360s floating around that I still bust out and play. I actually used to use that for gameplay from my old videos. Yeah, skateboarding community, I don't know what to tell you, man. Like, the money here is what moves things around, and I understand what you're saying. I get where you're coming from. You guys probably should have first dibs on some of the cool Pokemon Limited stuff. That's not how this shit works. That's not how money works. That's not how the fucking place works in, like, Japanese card collecting. Before I sign off and, like, just get off my soapbox for a second, I was one of the people for Japanese card collecting. I warned people about the prices for years. I got made fun of. I got laughed at for fucking years for telling people that Japanese booster boxes were going to be $150, $200 on fucking release day if y'all talk with your money and you don't put your stuff down. Eevee Heroes was the first indication of that, but bro, fucking Clay Hazard got to that shit. Fucking Raging Surf is like pre-selling for like $150 right now. People are just, oh, that's okay. I'm pretty cool with doing that. And you know what does it? It's content. And it's money. There's people that are hoping to pull the chase cards, hoping to sell them, hoping to get them PSA graded, BGS graded. Money is the thing that moves shit around here, man. Gatekeeping. It's not really a thing that happens how people say it does. I fully 100% believe gatekeeping happens here, but not in the way people say it does. Look, for example, I can say whatever fucked up thing comes out of my mouth right now, okay? I could say that people who like 151 Pokemon and they only like 151 Pokemon are fake fans. To a degree, I think that's kind of true, but it doesn't really keep you from getting anything, right? You're just going to be mad and type a little hate comment down there and be like, yeah, 151 is the only Pokemon that exists. Everything else is fucking garbage. Like, you can type that, but it's not going to stop you from doing anything in the actual hobby. You know what does keep people from getting stuff in the hobby? High prices. Financial gatekeeping is something that exists, and there was a lot of people that hung out here in this hobby, would get a couple booster packs where they could, get a booster box, once a month or something like that, but unfortunately, due to fucking the economy of the United States right now and all the fucking inflation happening and everything else going on, collectibles not dropping in price either. It's the one people that gives people a little bit of clarity in this fucking world that we're going through right now, and people fucking know it. It's just one of those things that people, they're not going to stop selling that stuff or anything else. But that is something that does happen with gatekeeping. And yes, it's economics and it's business. I understand all this stuff and how it works. It doesn't make it any less true that certain people are not going to be able to get it because of the stupid price tag that's on it. Like I get it. Yes, I understand how business works. I'm not stupid. Like you're not fucking mind blowing everyone that you know how fucking supply and demand works. We all understand it, big dog. Chill the fuck out. Lots of people went to college here, man. Just it's fucking goofy that like people won't admit that does keep people from getting certain things. And then they're like, "Oh, sorry guys, but like this stuff is happening." I saw so many stores that supported just supported big fans of Pokemon, was buying stuff from them, was actually going through it with them whenever Pokemon was at a low. X and Y, Sun and Moon, man. Like people weren't just doing shit like that. The second it took off, left those real fans behind and started fucking helping out big streamers, helping out breakers, because that's where the fucking money was. And unfortunately, skateboarding community, that's what you're going through right now. You're watching people fucking sell out for where the money is. We all have a band that's done it too. That's all I got. Appreciate it, virgins. Gatekeeping. You're not supposed to talk about it. I'm going to talk about it. It does exist, but it exists mostly on the financial side of things. That's all I got. Appreciate it, virgins. I'm sorry, skateboarding community. Sorry, people that are Pokemon fans that are genuinely trying to get this stuff, and unfortunately, it's being scalped. Welcome to the Japanese hobby.